All right, listen, I think we're doing something good today. We talked about Biden's bribery. We're going to talk now about Hillary's emails. We're going to talk about Joe Biden's classified documents. I think that while you and I mostly understand that these are red herrings and whataboutism from the right, it's not a bad thing when we have the opportunity to put on the record everything we know about these situations so we can refer back to it. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples here of incredible whataboutism from right wingers. Here is, for example, Ron DeSantis, interestingly enough, defending Donald Trump against his recent indictment by immediately bringing up Hillary Clinton's emails. I know it's satirical and almost a parody at this point that you ask about a real 37 felony count indictment with pictures, with evidence, with witnesses. And they say, well, what about Hillary's emails for which she's been cleared of criminal wrongdoing? But that's what they want to do. Here's Ron DeSantis.
When I was in Congress, I remember, Hillary had the emails with the classified. And my view was, well, gee, as a naval officer, if I would have taken classified to my apartment, I would have been court-martialed in a New York minute. And yet they seem to not care about that. And is there a different standard for a Democrat Secretary of State versus a former Republican president? I think there needs to be one standard of justice in this country.
Right. And that standard of justice is if there is evidence of criminality, regardless of who you are, you get yourself indicted. It's actually sort of shocking that they're still doing this. And it's not just Ron DeSantis. Here's another example. Here's Republican Congressman Mike Waltz, who, again, in an attempt to defend Trump, says, listen, you can call it whataboutism. And then he brings up Hillary Clinton's email.
Why not just hand them over? If, to your point, this happens a lot.
Yeah, well, look, if he believed he was privileged under the Presidential Records Act, then that is a conversation that I would argue should have continued to happen. Because what's missing also in this conversation, and I could tell you this talking to Floridians and folks back home, you can call it whataboutism or...
And we will, because that's what it is.
What have you. They're calling it fairness. And there's legal precedent here when you have the Clinton tapes, when you have the Clinton emails, when you have the fact that the sitting national security advisor right now, Jake Sullivan, was sending and laundering classified documents into an unclassified server, on top of the fact that the sitting president of the United States admitted he had documents in his garage that you're going in and out of. People look at that and say, whoa, wait a minute. There was prosecutorial discretion there. They didn't prosecute. They didn't go after these folks in all of these other instances.
All right. You get the point. This actually makes no sense, but sense and the facts don't matter. So it, in a sense, makes perfect sense that they are doing something that makes no sense. Donald Trump's indictment is based on 37 felony counts related to mishandling classified documents, obstructing justice, making false statements, some of those actions under the Espionage Act, which we will dig into later as we continue our deep dive into this. The Hillary Clinton email controversy was based on allegations that she used a private email server for public communications. This was deemed extremely careless by the FBI. It was not deemed criminal by the FBI because it did not appear to break the law. That's what we care about. The Trump indictment says Trump shared a classified map related to military operations with people who were not qualified to see that. He knew that it wasn't declassified because he said after leaving office, this is classified. He improperly stored boxes containing classified documents by his toilet, in the ballroom, in the shower. He went out of his way to avoid giving back the documents. Hillary Clinton's email controversy involved emails that were retroactively classified by the State Department after they were sent or received. An important detail. None of them were marked classified at the time. The Trump indictment alleges Trump got numerous requests from the Justice Department saying, just hand the stuff over, hand it over. And he didn't do it. The allegations against Trump include making false statements to the FBI, going to his aides and lawyers and saying, help me lie, help me hide, help me do everything to avoid giving these documents back. In the Hillary Clinton situation, she immediately and voluntarily handed over about 30,000 emails to the State Department that were work-related and deleted about 30,000 personal emails she deemed irrelevant. The right likes to say, well, the 30,000 emails she deemed irrelevant weren't irrelevant. Okay, well, the investigation hasn't determined that that's the case. The Trump indictment could result in prison time for him and Walt Nauta, who is a co-conspirator and was also indicted. The Hillary Clinton email controversy was fully investigated, and the determination was there was not a crime committed, and so charges were not filed. The right says that's because of political bias. There is no evidence of that because the things Hillary did and what Trump is accused of are dramatically different. So that's Hillary's emails. Let's now look at the Joe Biden part a little bit more closely. I love my Helix sleep mattress. I've been sleeping on Helix mattresses for years now, which is why I asked them to be a sponsor. You actually take their famous sleep quiz, takes just a few minutes to answer questions about your sleep preferences, body type, sleep position, whether you have back pain, and Helix will match you with a mattress that's perfect for you, which is really unique and helpful because a lot of people don't know where to start when buying a mattress. I certainly didn't. Their newest collection of mattresses, called Helix Elite, come with a built-in Glaciotex layer to keep you cool at night, an extra layer of foam for pressure relief, and thousands of extra microcoils for best-in-class support and durability. All of their mattresses ship right to your door, totally free. They come with a 10 or 15-year warranty, and you get 100 nights to decide if you like it. My audience also gets a whopping 20% off all orders, plus 2 free pillows. Go to helixsleep.com/Pacman. The link is in the description.